Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to Porch Talk, week 2 of the preseason. We got a couple more weeks of college football hits, and we are so excited to do that. We are going live right now on YouTube. It seems like we're having trouble on Twitter, but we are live on the social. So come on in, comment, share, post. We're gonna talk some ball. We're gonna talk a little bit. Media days, SEC media days just happened. We got uh, we got media days going on. Big Ten. We got some big coaches talking some big trash today, which was awesome for the sport, which we love to see. Loving to see it. A little Kirk Cinetti action. We got a little Rhett Lashley talking some at the ACC media days. Let's get that banner up. Let's get that going. Back porch. Who's cooking and who's full of smoke? Today's episode. Who's cooking? Who's full of smoke? We are live again. Gonna go ahead and give you guys a couple of minutes. Come through. Yeah. Start the show in about 4 minute mark. Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. I'm excited for it. Excited to see what week one's gonna look like. I'm excited to see all kinds of things. Come on in. Start it in a couple minutes. Drop your comments, share, talk to us. Do what you gotta do. All right. That's a 4 minute mark. So let's get this show on the road. Go ahead and get it going. And we are back. Super excited to be here. Again, another episode on the back porch conversation. College football, episode 2. I can't even imagine how good it's gonna feel in the next couple weeks when we finally get some ball. We're jonesing for it. It's just me, Nate, on the back, on Nader Tater, they call me, on the back porch today. I'm excited to talk ball with you guys. I'm excited to go over what this last week at the SEC Media Days. I got my SEC shirt on. Let's just say I love the SEC. I got my Tennessee hat on. I'm a Vol for life. Don't let that be. Don't let that change your opinion of us. But we love our SEC football, but we love all football, right? So Jake could be with us, Scott couldn't be with us, but it's okay. You got me tonight, and we're gonna talk some ball. And the first things first, we're gonna go through what was wild. Like what happened today at at the Big Ten Media Day. Big Ten and ACC are both feeling themselves, which is great for the sport. Don't get me wrong, great for the sport. Loving the fact that Kurt Sinetti, big old Sinetti, talking the talk, had a great season last year. Love the guy to death, but my God, dude opened up his mouth and inserted his foot. But this is what he said. He said pretty much if the Big Ten scheduled the FCS schools um what should we call if the Big Ten scheduled had a SEC schedule by playing like FCS schools like late in the season, like in November, late November, like late October, the Big Ten would even have better uh you know I don't know, better records, right? It's just pretty much just saying all these SEC schools that schedule cupcakes at the beginning and the end of the season, those are just easy wins, and you're padding your stats and you're padding on extra win. While the Big Ten goes through 9 games, which is fine, but he inserted his foot and he inserted his mouth and he's coming out saying that, but it's like he's saying, these schedules are easy and it's, adding the little cupcakes, but it's like, dude, you went 10 wins last year and avoided the big three in the Big Ten. Not saying they didn't earn it, not saying they didn't do good because they did well, and these are going to do well again this year. But if you're going to talk trash after having one relevant season, you're going to have to back it up again this year. They hit the portal hard. They got guys. They have a good quarterback. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. But, if you look at the last decade of the SEC versus Big Ten debate, both are top. Both, if you take the top creme de la creme, the cream of their eyes to the top, take them out, take those out, and take your middle tier and have the middle tier play each other. The middle tier of the SEC is gonna win those games. We see it in the bowl games when they matter. Like an 8-9 win eight 9-win Big Ten team versus a 8-win SEC team. We see it all the time in the Outback Bowl or whatever it's called now, the Tampa Bowl. We see it in the Citrus Bowl or the Cheez-It Bowl, whatever it's called now. Time and time again, we've seen it. Not saying that the Big Ten hasn't gotten better because they have. They've gotten really, really good, and they've spread. Obviously, they've spreaded their horizons by bringing in the West Coast teams to make them even more of a power. But him saying we figured we'd adopt the SEC schedule philosophy, that's definitely shots fired at the SEC. So we'll see. The SEC is in the last 2 years, they've had a lot of rebuild, a lot of players going to NFL. I mean, you see that dominate. We see that every year, every Sunday, because there's players all over the SEC. There's also players all over from the Big Ten. But again, we will see week 1 and week 0 how this plays out. We love the guy, and that's why he's cooking right now. But hey, that's what we love about football. We love it. Preseason is talking season. Talk that talk. I love it, Kurt. Keep it coming. another guy that was talking some trash today at the ACC media days is old Rhett Lashley. Both coaches we just talked about, both coaches are good coaches. Both coaches got to the playoffs, and both coaches got their asses kicked in week one, in round one. I'm not saying much. I'm a Tennessee fan. We ran into a buzzsaw at Ohio State, but they also won the national championship. My team had a pulse, but SMU had no pulse at all. They were, deer in headlights when they were playing Penn State in their playoff game. But Rhett Lashley said the SEC has had the same six schools win a championship since 1964. Top heavy to me. Well, it's top heavy. Obviously, yeah, you're Bama, you got your Florida, you got your Tennessees, your Georgias, your Auburns, your LSUs. You take those teams, yes, it's top heavy. But you look at other teams like Ole Miss, Mississippi State had a good couple years in between there. Sprinkle that in. You got the Gamecocks had a run in the early 2000, like the years with old ball coach. I mean, they won 3 seasons of 10 wins. The guys do rise to the top. Kentucky had their thing going on a couple years ago. Missouri, their first year in the SEC, they went to the SEC championship. Texas, their first year in the SEC, they went to the championship. Texas A&M, they're always fighting for 8-4, 9-3. Those are top heavy, but everybody else below them is just as a contender. The problem is they beat each other up. Then you want to talk to ACC. SMU has been relevant since the 85 or whenever Pony Express came out. So you're going to talk that talk, but also you got to back it up, which he did. I'm not saying he hasn't, and they're going to be good this year too. Returning the starting quarterback, returning a lot of production. But the ACC, Clemson, Florida State, those are your champions. So you can't just talk about one conference and not say your conference can back it up. Like Kurt Sinetti, the Big Ten's backed it up last 2 years. ACC hasn't. Clemson was good the Lawrence years, and they're going to be fine this year, we think. We'll get into that. But, oh my goodness, like if you're going to talk, you better walk that walk because you got a pretty hard schedule this year, and you got to repeat what you did last year, which it's damn near impossible to do that. So we'll see SMU. I'm big on you. I think Jennings is going to have a good year. I think the schedule you play is good. The ACC did get better, but you got a pretty tough schedule. So it's been good. Media days has been good, and I just love seeing all the polls come out, getting it really excited for the season to begin. Let us know in the comments if you're listening to us or talking to us live or even after this. Send us what you're most excited for, or send us like your most hyped, who's most underrated, all those things. We'd love to see it and hear it. But I want to get into the last week's news, right? Last week's news where was all about SEC media days. The hoopla, the pageantry of the SEC. They moved it from Hoover or from Alabama to Atlanta, bigger venue, bigger spaces. It was awesome to see. Got to see a bunch of players that haven't had their chance to talk yet, talk to the media, do a bunch of stuff with the media, which was cool. And then we got to see the media poll come out. And Lord behold, the media poll looks like it's supposed to look. Texas number 1, Georgia number 2, Alabama number 3. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that at all because those teams have the best rosters, blue chip athletes everywhere. For God's sakes, the janitor's probably a blue chip athlete, was on Rivals, can probably sweep the fastest out of anybody we know. I mean, it's ridiculous. Those teams are just loaded. Then it comes down to discipline, focus, and depth, right? The best ability is availability, they always say. And those teams have the rosters to go the gauntlet of the SEC. It's proven time and time again. Kirby, DeBoer inherited just the prettiest castle in the world. We all know that, and Texas has been doing this for the last couple of years. Been trying to gain more and more in their depth. And last year they just came up short. Um, but this year returning a lot with Arch. You can believe the hype or you don't have to believe the hype. We're just going to see it week 1 in Columbus, and we'll have a breakdown of that, next week or the next 2 weeks on that one. But those 3 teams, you can throw them in a hat, pull them out, and say Georgia number 1 or Texas number 2 and Alabama 3 or Alabama 2 and Texas number 1. The crazy thing about those 3 teams is that the media loves these teams so much because of the depth chart and because of the talent and because of the coaching and because so much money is behind these guys. It's insane. And all 3 of them have first year starting quarterbacks. Crazy, right? Vegas has predicted not over 9 wins for Texas, over 9 wins for Georgia, and over 9 wins for Alabama, all without a quarterback starting with experience. That's crazy. That is nuts. That just shows you the last 4 to 5 years of recruiting is so important in the pre-Neil era, post and the Neil era right now. It's insane. And then you got, I would say, that's the tier 1. You got SEC tier, mid tier, and that really starts at 4 all the way to 10, right? These teams, they're good. They have hard schedules. They got to play. They got to play these 2 of the top tier guys. They're all going to play each other. Those mid tier teams, but there's something missing, right? They don't have enough depth. They don't have maybe the coaches that the media doesn't see as confident. But I mean, you look at LSU, and LSU is a great coaching staff. They have the pedigree. They got the pageantry. They got the fans. They got the depth. They have the quarterback. They have the offense. But do they have the defense, right? Each one of those has a question mark. I believe they're sitting at 4. That is a great place to be for them. They have a phenomenal chance to win a lot of big games at home this year and get some good road wins to win 10. That is their ceiling, 10-2. Their floor to me is maybe 8-4. It's a very good team. You can listen and you right now go, oh no, LSU's overhyped. Gus Nussmeier or Nussmeier is not he's overhyped. And it's like, watch the film, watch the kid when he's got time to throw, because he will this year. He is going to have enough time to throw, which is important. They have a great offensive line. They have a good wide receiver core. They're going to run the ball. The question is did they learn how to tackle? Did they learn how to get off the field on 3rd down? Did they learn how to have some leadership in that defensive side of the ball? It's like we're going to help our team win, because there's going to be a time this year. It could be the Florida game when they play Florida. It could be the Alabama game where they're going to need to stop, because not all offenses are going to be perfect every Saturday. They're going to need to stop. Are they going to get that stop? And that is the most important part of that. Is LSU going to get that stop? What do you guys think in the chat? Is LSU a 10-2 ceiling kind of team, or are they realistically like an 8-4, 9-3? Let us know. We'd love to hear from it. Even if it's not in the chat live, let us know post pod. We'd love to hear it. Breaking down, just looking at the media polls and just saying, all right, what's up, media? I believe they have 1 through 4 correct. And this is where 5 through 10 intermingle. Somebody is in love with South Carolina. I think South Carolina's their entire roster has been rebuilt. They did lose some guys to the pros last year, which is fine. Lenoris Sellers is a athlete. He is a fun freak. He will make plays. when they break down. Okay. This a whole off season, all these coaches, they've had a whole year to prepare. They're going to prepare when they play him this year. So he's going to see different looks and different pressures and different fronts and different zones. Can he read the zone? Can he read the pressures? Can he make the throws? We know he's going to run the ball, but you know what? When you play a team like Alabama, which they will, or Texas A&M, which they will, they're just going to set up their ends to not pressure you and keep you in the box and make you throw the ball. Just like everybody did to Jalen Hurts last year, last couple of years, we figured it out. Anybody who's anybody with a good defense knows exactly how to attack an athletic quarterback. You don't. You let him throw the ball. Can he win the game with his arm? That is the biggest question mark. He won a couple games last year with his arm. We've seen it. Are they at 5 because of him? Or are they at 5 because their defense? I think they're at 5 because their defense is returning a lot of good players. A lot of people don't talk about defense. It's been offense, 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 because offense is sexy. It puts points on the board. It gets people paid. Defense is nitty gritty. It's ugly. Those guys don't get it's like the O line. Those guys don't get the love they deserve. They don't get paid enough. You know what I mean? But in the NFL, they pay them. You know what I'm saying? But defense, I think South Carolina is sitting at 5 because of the defense that they're returning. No one's talking about it. Plus the potential of the offense to get hot. If Nick Harbor can play like Nick Harbor does in the NCAA game at 26, holy crap. But that's not realistic. I believe they have a really good opportunity to win a bunch of games that they're not supposed to. But they're sitting at 5. I think that's the reason why I wouldn't have them at 5. I would have them more around the 8 to 7 mark just because they still have a lot to prove. They have a ton to prove. So now you're breaking down. You got the 6. Everyone knows why Florida's there. Florida had the hottest ending of a season that I've seen in a long time last year. And if they could bottle up that magic that they had, that Billy got those guys believing in themselves, plus more depth, more players buying into the system. If Lagway can stay healthy with his legs was that hamstring problem last year, I believe. If he can he can throw. There's no doubt about it. He can throw. We know he can throw, and that's the cool thing about Lagway is there's no question mark on his throwing like Lascellers, but he can throw the ball. If they can get him in rhythm in games, right? If they can get him going, get him his confidence going, get him in some RPO stuff, some power runs, and make him part of the offense, just like Cam Newton used to do, right? I'm not comparing to Cam Newton, I'm just saying like how they schemed up Cam. If they could scheme up Lagway and give him some time to throw, which they will, they have a better offensive line. They're gonna have to run the ball more for sure. Their gauntlet of a schedule is insane. Everyone knows it. You got to run the ball. You're not gonna be able to throw it around like you're supposed to. They got to run the ball. They got to run the rock. Florida football runs the ball, and they run with power, and they run over your face, and that's what they do. So if they can run the ball, establish dominance in their games with their O line, their defense I would say on paper has gotten better, but they need depth. At the end of the year, they could be sitting really pretty in November. Right? Even with a couple losses, they could be sitting because their strength of schedule is so hard. I believe the media has given them at 6 because the strength of schedule is so hard. If they had an easier strength of schedule, I would even bump them up even higher. But the strength of schedule is ridiculous. Everybody knows that. But if they can get out of September injury free, go through October, stay hydrated, get in the athletic room, just get those bumps and bruises, healed up for the end of the season, for that end of the season, that run, you're getting a playoff team just because of the. I mean, if they're looking at like 2 losses going into November, or even 3, and they went out, like that's insane. That's insane to me. At that point, Billy should be coach of the year, coach of this decade based off of the freaking schedule. But it's all going to break down to is their defense, can they stop the run, and their offense, are you going to run the ball more? And then also, can Lagway make the throws we know he can? Can he make the throws when it matters? They have some tough. They have really tough road games. They have some really good home games too, and they've scheduled them all at night, which is awesome for them. So that's a huge advantage for Florida. I'm excited to see the SEC with a good Florida again, with a good South Carolina again. It makes it. I mean, you're looking at the top 10. That's heavy. Even with Auburn, like at 11, that's heavy football, right? Anybody, any day can win. So like you got to bring it every time. You got to stay focused. You got to stay healthy. You got to do what you got to do. I will say this: Ole Miss, huge question marks around Ole Miss. The Simmons kid, at the end of the day, it's a Lane Kiffin quarterback. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be good. Um, I don't think they should be at 7. I really don't. I think they should be around 10. Just based off of they lost so much to the NFL. Too much went out the door. Right? Can they replace that? That is a huge question marks. Is it replaceable? We'll find out. They have a pretty good schedule. We'll find out. I think Texas A&M should honestly be ranked at 7. Ole Miss down at 10, just because they're replacing so much. A&M is they're they are my dark horse. Not enough love is coming out of media days. Not enough people are talking about them. A lot of people are talking LSU, South Carolina, Florida, right? LSU, South Carolina, Florida, but A&M, all they have to do is change a little bit of their culture. All they got to do is believe in themselves a little bit. Forget the crazy cult fans and all that bullcrap. What did Mike Elko do when he came in last year with what he inherited? He didn't have a chance to recruit. He got what he got, and he used it. What did he do at Duke when he came in and inherited a team? He wins. He was already at A&M before that as the defensive coordinator when they were winning games, you know, by 3 or losing by 3. A&M can play some defense, and they're going to play some defense this year. Their defense is sound. Do not, if you're going to play them, doesn't matter any time of the day when you go there, if you're playing them at home, that defense is going to tee off on you. That defense is going to figure it out because Mike Elko is a defensive headed guy, and he has a quarterback, an athletic quarterback. And the last time we saw a great, crazy athletic quarterback at A&M, things got crazy, and we know what we're talking about, Mr. Manziel. No comparison to Manziel. I think Marcel Reed is an athlete. He's going to make some plays, but they got athletes everywhere. They're going to be able to run the ball. I think Mike Elko's done a fantabulous job of creating a culture, locker room environment where these guys are like, we're a team. All the noise is outside of this. Let's focus on what we can only focus on. And they won 8. They were a field goal away last year, year 1, with Jimbo Fisher's guys. A field goal away from almost making an SEC team, SEC championship game, and on top of that, beating your rival who you've not played in 10 years. I can't remember the last time they played. Texas. That's crazy. Crazy. Fix that. Fix your depth chart because it's a long season. Get more depth. Get better on special teams, and you're fine. They're going to be fine. I feel like realistically, they should be around 6. Florida should be around 5, and then South Carolina around 8. Move Tennessee up to 8 or 7 because Ole Miss has those question marks. Like playing in Von Hemingway, that's the easiest. It's quiet. 40,000 people. That don't scare nobody in the SEC. That's nothing. Vanderbilt's louder sometimes. Jeez, right? So then you have I would call the middle tier to bottom, but not bottom feeders. Tennessee, Oklahoma, Auburn, and Missouri. Right? These teams on paper all might seem the same, but I'm telling you what, this is my bias coming out. Everybody's focused on Nico and how he left and blah 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 blah. Tennessee runs the football. Josh Heupel said that at media days last week. He said, "We run the ball, and we don't just run it. We run it down your throat a lot, and everyone knows exactly when he's going to run the ball." Right? Nico made some plays in some games last year and won us some games. Right? But he also missed a lot of throws that anybody that had time could make. He made some bad decisions on and off the field clearly. But guess what? Next man up, right? Next man up. Moving forward, moving on. Tennessee's defense, sneaky good. Sneaky good. Got Gerald McCoy, who is going to play island cornerback, like Revis Island. They're gonna put him on every team's best wide receiver and say, man up, everybody else is playing zone, or we're going to send some type of pressure. Keeping Tim Banks, this is his 5th season with the Vols. The continuity there is insane, having the defense with the same verbiage, the same system, the same everything, and plus having the players he's recruited all there now still. That's important to have, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Rodney Garner has his guys cooking on the D line. He's got another batch of guys ready to go pro. It's really important continuity, and you don't see it a lot in college football or football in general. Guys like to move around a lot, but Tennessee has really good continuity on defense. Uh, they're already hard to run on, so they also have a lighter schedule than normal. So seeing them at 9 is kind of surprising. It's kind of like you're kind of sleeping on them because to me, realistically, they're a 5 or 6. Realistically, even with questions at quarterback, they're going to run the ball anyway. Whoever the quarterback is, Joey Aguilar, uh, Merklinger, doesn't matter. Whoever can make the read in the throw, but they're surrounded by a great wide receiver room and good depth at wide receiver, at running back, and really good solid offensive line. But that defense is going to keep them in games. It's going to keep them in games a lot too. So let's just say we've seen when that offense goes cold, it gets really cold. But that defense has kept them alive. That's the reason why they went 10-2 last year, honestly. Defense and running game. Powered football. And they got it. And it's sneaky good. It's sneaky good. And here's another good team that is like that, Oklahoma. If Oklahoma has what we think they have with Mateer, watch out. The potential's high, man. Like you're looking at like mid-season poll, SEC poll, they go from 10 to like 5 because Mateer is a baller. Mateer is an experienced quarterback, and people can say all day long, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, he played at Washington State." Blah blah blah. College football's experience is college football experience. The same zone that he saw against the Mountain West teams he played and the Pac-12 team in Oregon State that he played and the other teams, same zones are the same zone coverage they throw at you in the SEC. The same exact stuff you see in high school, it's the same exact stuff you see. It's just faster and more physical. Can he make the reads? Can he make the plays? We've seen it. The guy's good. He's a little bit underrated. Everyone is overrating some guys ahead of him. but Mateer to me is a top 3 quarterback in the country and also a top quarterback in the SEC. And we'll find that out as we go. Venerable, his seat's hot. Defense is going to be really, really, really good again this year. They're going to stop a lot of teams, especially at home. Oklahoma, I'm with you, all your fans. Y'all got screwed. The SEC screwed you with your scheduling 2 years ago. So you got a lot to prove this year. Make it out alive. If you go 9-3, awesome. Good for y'all, man. That is a huge, 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 huge year. Going into the next year, right? Venerables will keep his job. Everybody was happy. Fan base is happy. You're going into a really nice bowl game. But if it doesn't work out, which I don't think it will, I think it's going to be just fine. But let's just say if it doesn't, just because I think the only thing that's stopping is injuries. You're looking at still a bowl win, a bowl season, but it's not going to be pretty. But I think you got the right guy, leading your team offensively with the coordinator, with the continuity. We talked about continuity earlier. That is huge. So seeing them at 10, it's a good spot for them. They also have, to me, they can skyrocket based off of their schedule and who they're playing. They can skyrocket for sure. And then you got the bottom tier, Missouri Tigers. You sit them at 12, and it's like who they playing, right? They don't really play anybody at all. I think they play every team from 11 to 16. They have a chance to be like 5-0 before they play anybody good. Missouri Coach Drink has got a good team. He lost Luther Burden and Brady Cook, but he's got some good players coming in. 12 is good for them, but Auburn is like Oklahoma, great defense, questionable on offense, but I think there's so much pressure on Hugh Freeze to win these games that were so tight last year because of turnovers or just lack of discipline. If they could fix just the turnovers and the discipline aspect of it, we'll see them beat Baylor pretty decent week 1. And that's because they have more athletes and they have bigger, stronger, and faster dudes than Baylor does, even on the road. If they can focus and play it all, put it all together week 1. That'd be super awesome for the conference and for their fans. So here's to you, Auburn. Keep it up. But they have to push the ball down the field. They got the guys to do it. Jackson Arnold needs to come out, be healthy, make the right call, run this confidently. If he doesn't, I would just say put in Deuce. What can you do? Right? Give the kid a chance. If Jackson Arnold looks like he did last year at Oklahoma and starts to spiral, put in Deuce Knight, let him play, give the kid the experience because he's your future anyway, and carry out the season. And then there's your scapegoat for Hugh Freeze. Hey man, we have all these guys coming in. Let's don't screw the pooch. Let's get the depth we need for year 4, plus transfer portal, plus we have a freshman quarterback. He looked pretty good, and everybody knows he's going to be legit. So let's just go ahead and start him, sit the other guy. That's if that's the negative, right? That's how the season could turn, but they don't want it. I think barring injuries and everything like that, Auburn's got a pretty good depth chart to battle it all throughout the season. They're going to get somebody this year. I'm going to say it right now. At home, they're going to get somebody at home. It might be that Georgia game. Watch out. So the rest of it, they got it spot on. I mean, Vanderbilt's the best of the broken at the bottom. Arkansas could be sneaky good. Who knows? But they're cooking up in Fayetteville. Mississippi State will be better for sure, and Kentucky's going to be a little bit worse. but we'll see. We put our power rankings from every week from week 1 on. So, but that's just from the SEC media days, right? And we're excited, about that. I think just doing a little breakdown of what we just talked about the SEC, it's gonna be so much movement. I just predict I predict even the best team is gonna walk away with 2 losses. There's gonna be no undefeated teams. I mean, it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about college. I mean, the big ACC is gonna be so much better to watch this year. I mean, let us know what you're most excited about this season besides just hanging out Saturday morning, getting your coffee or your beer on, your drink on, start grilling, start telling for the big game. I mean, I'm excited. The hype is real even with the Neil era kind of screwing the pageantry of the game and the love of the game, the tradition of the game, it's still the game. We love the game, and I'm excited for it. And so that was who's cooking or who's full of smoke on SEC media polls. Now we're going into our porch debate, and this one's fun because I love this one. This is a good debate. First playoff chance. We put this one out. We put this one out I think last week. Who's got the best chances in all of college football to make their first playoff appearance this year? And so we did a nope, somewhat good, or best if you're watching this on YouTube or any other platform, you'll be able to see this. But if you're listening, pretty much we have from top to bottom best to, or the best chances, the best under that is good chances, somewhat, and then nope. And we're gonna start with number one, who has got the best chance to make their first playoff, and that is Miami. Miami needs the playoffs. They need this. They need to just touch it, feel it, get in it. And I feel like that'll rejuvenate some old dying carcass of what Miami football used to be. It'll bring life back to the program. It'll get the fans excited and they'll buy in to the crystal ball experience. If they lose the first round, it doesn't matter. If they can just get in, right? If they can just get in finally, it's going to change their program, the trajectory of the Miami program. And a good Miami is a fun college football. Old heads like me and even older heads that are older than me agree. The youngins don't know. They just think Miami's trash. But if Miami can get there, you're going to see a ton of people coming out of nowhere and you're going to see the swag. You're going to see it back. So I feel like Miami has the best chance and Illinois of their first playoff chance of the first playoffs of their first chance of the playoffs. Illinois is sneaky good. They play a really good Big Ten schedule. They have a great coaching staff and a great defense. Their defense is going to will them to win this year. Their offense with Altmaier leading the way with they like to throw it around. It's going to be fun to watch. I believe they can make it in the playoffs this year as a third Big Ten school. It's going to be Ohio State. We know that. It's going to be Penn State. We know that. Who's the third one, right? Is it going to be Illinois or Oregon? Illinois or Oregon. They might get 4 in, right? But Illinois is definitely getting in this year. They're going to win the games that matter this year, and they're going to not slip up, barring injuries, right? This is all obviously based off of just being healthy. They play a gauntlet of a Big Ten schedule, but they have a really good I mean, you look at the Vegas odds or the ESPN FPI, their margins to win are going to be higher in each game besides playing the big boys. Then you got Ole Miss in Missouri. This is what's fun. This is why we haven't been good. If Ole Miss if they're sneaky by getting all their if they plug in all the guys that at the defensive roster, defensive spot that they miss with the depth, they can plug in some guys that are adequate, that the ones that just left, they're going to be just fine. Is the quarterback play going to increase or decrease? I think it's going to slightly decrease, but it's still going to be good. It's Lane Kiffin. It's freaking Lane. It's what Lane does. It's what he does best. He's going to run his offense, and they're going to do good. They have a pretty simple schedule. They could sneak on by, just like Missouri. Missouri can sneak on by based off their schedule. These teams are going to be they're going to be sitting this year always around like 10 to like 16. They're just going to float. They're going to float all season long based off of week to week. They're going to float down. They're going to float up. If they lose one, they'll float up. Then they'll float back down because teams ahead of them are going to beat each other. They're just going to knock each other out. And that's why we have them at that first playoff chance. Then we have Florida, South Carolina, Nebraska, Kansas State, and we put somewhat of a chance just because the Florida and South Carolina schedules are just insane. They're just extremely hard. And when you play those many teams back to back to back, you are going to get injuries. You are going to test your depth. And so that's why we put somewhat, just because, let's be real, a realistic look of college football is you're going to have injuries. You're going to have guys that are going to have to step up that haven't played yet in big games. And my thing is, you take your starting 11 for South Carolina and Florida, put them against anybody. That's fine. What about the second starting 11? What about the guy, the backup center, the backup guard? What about the backup safety who hasn't had the experience and played since he was a senior in high school? Is he going to come out there and play like Ed Reed or play like, Troy Polamalu, like just play with his head on fire, play confidently? Who knows? He could be that guy. But we don't know. That's why we have somewhat Nebraska as well. Nebraska's crazy because Nebraska could start the season like 6-0, 7-0, which is great. No one's talking about that, and we'll get into that more in a later episode. But Nebraska's crazy just because Nebraska has a really good, really good schedule. They play Ohio State at home. If they are undefeated and Ohio State goes into Lincoln, that's going to be game day or big noon or whatever, prime game, and it's going to be their coming out party, if it's so to speak. I don't think they could beat the big guys yet. I believe they close the gap on where they were from last year to where people are now, but they're there. That's why I'm somewhat, because they could have a magical season, but their season is probably going to end not the way they want, just because it is pretty tough down the stretch. So don't get your hopes up, because the end of the season, late October through November, it's where you're playing your hardest teams. So we have it somewhat, because even if they lose one, or even if they lose two, they probably won't get in over like an Illinois or an Oregon. Let's just be real. We know how the committee votes, right? And then you have Kansas State. Kansas State is a somewhat, just because they have Avery Johnson. If he plays like he's supposed to play, and everybody knows what he's supposed to do with the ball, and they can run the ball and establish themselves on the line of scrimmage like how Utah does in the Big 12, they're going to contend against Utah, and they're going to beat everybody. It's going to be like watching Kansas State's of old, right? When everyone in the Big 10 was running the spread, or Big 12 running the spread offense and everything like that, they're running pro style with Coach Snyder and the crew. So, Little Big Apple, we see you here at the back porch, and I want to see you guys just beat the shit out of people in the Big 12. And just, we have it somewhat, just because if you do flub up in a 1 to 2 games, you won't make it. You have to be a one-loss team, or you got to win your division, which, hey, if you win your division, you're going to be in no matter what. But we think Utah's a little bit slightly better, and y'all might like the TCU game or like the Baylor game. Like we've seen it. The Big 12 just beats each other up. You know what I mean? So then we have then the nope at the end. Iowa, USC. Iowa will be way better. Iowa might punt less this year because they're going to score a little bit more, but they're going to be the typical Iowa team. Kurt Ferentz is going to be 8-3, 8-4, 9-3, and that's it. There you go. Good, solid defense, great disciplined football, but no playoff chance at all. And then USC, everyone's like, oh, USC, blah blah blah, looking real good this year. They got incredible talent. They're just not going to be able to win the big games when it comes down to it. The Big Ten games where they're playing the big opponents, they're just gonna get beat up in the trenches. They're not there yet. I think they're a year away, maybe a year or two away, but they'll be way better. And I think give Lincoln Riley more time. You're going to see a big improvement, definitely in the offense and the defense. They have Rex Ryan's brother there to help and assist the defense, as they're going to be a better team. But yeah, I mean, that's the debate, right? That's the main debate. Who's going to make their first playoffs? What do you think? And if you're seeing this after the chat or after live, let us know in the comments. We'd love to come back and forth with you on that one. Guys, we're hitting on the 50-minute mark. Here's me just talking by myself for 50 minutes, which is crazy. I love the sport. I loved doing this. This is fun. If you have any more comments or anything like that, just let us. We want to hear from you for sure. Let us know who you think is going to make their playoff, their first playoff this year. I want to hear if I'm wrong. I want to hear from you. Definitely want to hear from you guys. We'll be back next week with another exciting episode. Hopefully, we get Jake on and Scott this time, and really have a good porch talk. We'll porch talk football. You know what I mean? So that being said, we are out, son.